And welcome back to another week of horse racing with yours truly and Hollywood Hay to my left. Back for some more action, fun packed at Parx today, tomorrow, Wednesday at Churchill, Thursday at Aqueduct. Maybe we'll do foreign Fridays if Tom and I can schedule our schedules together. That's been a little bit of a conflict of late. Hopefully we can fix that. But we know for sure we can schedule some free picks over a guaranteed tip sheet. There's a link in the description below. Please use that. Click on tip sheets, and you'll find that today's free track is Zia Park. So you can head on over to Zia Park Casino in that 6 furlong race. John, the 2-horse, will be our first pick of the day beginning at 2:05 p.m. Eastern. You're not going to want to miss any of that New Mexican horse racing. Terry, I know your weekend sucked because your 49ers choked late, but aside from that, how was everything else?
Oh yeah, everything else is okay. So yeah, they did, and I came to the conclusion that they're just a 500 ball team right now.
Maybe they'll improve on that.
Maybe.
All right, Terry, we'll start with our first race today at Parx. Well, we'd be happy with a 500 win rate, but let's try to get off to a start with a W in the first leg.
All right, 7 furlongs, claiming $5,000 claiming price, and it's a purse of $18,000 for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since May 18th.
And today is like a strange day. It's like they wanted to showcase every possible distance at Parx, I feel like. But 7 furlongs, the bias favors tactical speed, 24%. Still managed to win going wire to wire. There's an inside to outside bias. Inside 3 have the edge. 4 and out, they get discounted. Closer to the rail, the better. 1,000 simulations. We want to know who has the best chance to get to the lead based upon our projected pace. Which horses, where today's race will look a lot like their best performances. A score of 50% or better is typically where we're looking. Q30, any horse that scores over a 30 is one that you should consider in your picks. You got a pair in here. Par plus, how many times in our 1,000 simulations a horse ran a speed figure equal to or above par for this level? That being 76. You see that right here. And then finally, we're looking for some value. We want our favorite horses, the ones we pick, to have simulation odds lower than post-time odds, so we get a little bit of value. A horse on sale, Terry, who's going to get the lead early on today?
Well, as you can see, they all got some speed, but the one's got the most speed, so maybe that one will get to the quarter pole first. The 7 has an overlay from 6 to 5 to about 5 to 2. And then the 8 has an overlay from 15 to 1 to 20 to 1. All but the one show par plus numbers. All of them show C zones. And then there's 2 that have really nice Q30s, that's 7 and 8.
And then real fast, we also do trip handicapping. Most of these horses want to close. A couple want to be on front. You like the early speed, Terry? Caramel Cream, Luna T. Well, a bunch of them they're all within 7 points. Really better get out of the gates in a hurry, or you could be first or worst. Rainbow Trout has the most late speed. Lulinda's Heart right in that mix too. There's 3 of them that are a little bit better than everybody else. Our top total 4, our top total pace. Usually the winner comes from the first 4, Terry. And there's a little bit of a gap from the first 3 on down. Every 5 points equals about 1 length. So these 3 right here, at least a length better than the rest. Terry, which horses, in your opinion, are better than the rest?
I like the 7 La Tourista. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 39% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes, has a high percentage winning today's distance. Mercy, the 5 second choice, best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. 2, Rainbow Trout. 3rd pick, finished 3rd versus similar in her last. She has the highest last race speed rating, and she has her best speed is close to the average winning speed. And then Luna T, the 4th, my long shot. She finished 3rd versus similar last race, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. That's it for me. There are no bets.
And they're often running. I like the 7 horse. Doesn't look like it in the past performances, but should be forward here today. Number 3, speed 3. Mercy, the 5-3 speed figure increases in a row. Consistent performer. Paco on board. Rainbow Trout, bit off since February. Solid works prepping, and finally the 4 horse did have a wide trip in last. Should be better in the second up. Looking at the race right now, the 7 and the 8 have charged to the lead, as we thought they might have a contention to do. The 1 horse, a little bit of a sluggish start, but not too far off the pace right now. Opening quarter in 23.7 seconds as the 7 and the 8 continue to set the tone. The 1 horse has moved into third with the 4 in between it and the 5 horse, which is going to have a 3-wide trip around the rail. The 2 horse right now, it's trying to rally, but it's kind of done, I think. The 3 horse is coming the best in the back right now. The 6 horse trying to make up some ground. The 7 horse has eked its nose out in front of the 8 as they come around the turn after an opening half mile of 48.14 seconds. The 7 and the 8 continue to dominate up front. The 8 taking the wide trip, the 7 on the inside. The 1 horse trying to make its way up the rail. The 7 horse is trying to basically herd that 8 horse. The 6 horse is coming the most aggressive right now, Lulinda's Heart. It looks like we might get a long shot to open up the racing here, Terry, although the 7 might hang on at the very end. It's going to be tough to tell. Now the 6 is going to get it. 6, 7, 8, and then 3. The 6 horse, Lulinda's Heart. Terry, what do we miss on the 6 horse, aside from the fact that this is a maiden claiming $10,000 race and anybody, $5,000, that's the lowest level. Anybody can win. What do we see? What do we miss on the 6?
I don't know. It was 34-1 too, the longest shot in the board. So
yeah, that happens sometimes. Well, you had very consistent performer, right? I mean, you look at these last 4 races; they're all pretty much the same. It did catch. It does look like it wants to close. That's exactly what it did today. Got a 10-pound weight break today. That could have been a little bit of a difference maker for that horse right in there. And let's look. Man, really nothing else in there. You did see some improvement. Well, there was improvement across the board last time out. So there was a couple hints in that race there. You see all the pace numbers. They got better last time out. So maybe that was a horse just on the rise, Terry, that we just missed. That's it.
It could have been, yeah.
That's horse racing, right?
It is.
Well, hopefully we don't miss any more today. So let's try to get back on course in race number 2.
All right. So in race 2, we're going to go to 1 mile and 70 yards. $7,500 claiming race, purse $20,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since August 18th.
It's also interesting to note in that opening leg that the speed did not hold up despite fractions for 7 furlongs were not all that fast. Could be just an indication of, like I said, the lowest level horses, or maybe you're going to see a little bit of a different bias out of Parx today. At 1 mile and 70 yards, the bias to date has been early speed with a little under 40% winning wire to wire. Post positions are mostly fair. A little bit more difficult from post positions 4 through 7, Terry. Speed didn't last in the first race, but if it were to last in the second race, looks like the 2 is the one that eventually passed.
Yeah, they all show some kind of speed, but that 2 has the most speed, followed up by the 5 and the 4. And then the 5 has an overlay from just about 8 to 5, 3 to 1. All but the 2 show par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones, especially the 6.
Yeah, Heartlight with a lot of C zone action there. Really nobody over that Q30 score. Our race shape for race number 2, well, there's really no horse that needs to be the pilot. The 4 and 5 can pilot or co-pilot. The 1 horse, More Ransom, that one wants to be off the pace and let somebody else do the heavy lifting early on. 3 and 6, they can really move anywhere up and down the track. The PC types have a lot of versatility. And then the 2 is a closer. Looking at the early speed and the shape of this race, I would want my horse to be forward here. The 1 horse, More Ransom, is the quickest of the bunch, but again, only 8 points separating worst from first. I don't know off that first race if you want to be first. More Ransom does have the best early speed, but also the best late speed. Our top total pace horses in here, Terry, you got 4 of them again, a little bit better than the rest. It didn't hold up in the first race. Maybe it does in the second.
Yeah, well, I like that 5 creative copy. She has finished in the money in 4 of the last 5 starts, winning 3 of those. And she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Caddy LaBelle, the 3 is my second choice, finished third versus similar to the last 2 races at Parx Racing, and the distance won't be a problem for her. 6, Heartlight is my third choice. She likes Parx Racing. She's been in the money 70%, 77% of the races, winning 31.
One of those.
Yeah, winning 31% of the starts. The distance won't cause any problems as she's been in the money 82% of the races, winning 36% of those starts. And then my long shot is the 1 More Ransom. She has won 2 races out of the last 4 starts. She has a trainer who wins 19% of the dirt races in the second race after he claims a horse. And then number, Don Johnson picked 4, and good morning, Don. I see you came in. I'm going to play the 1-3-5-6 with the 3-5-6 with the 3-6 with the 2-3-4-7, a $48 ticket.
Don's coming. He's a trooper coming in. He's not feeling well today. I know that feeling. I have a little something brewing in my throat too. I hope that's just an allergy or a reaction to the fact that the weather's about to change here. I know low 30s by Friday in Chicago. Ugh. I'm going to go with the 5-horse Creative Copy as my first choice to win here, Terry. Top last race speed figure, and very likely to see that number go up in the second start after layoff. More Ransom does have that top early speed, top late speed that we saw in our pace handicapping in there. And last time out showed a little bit better late speed. Number 3, Caddy LaBelle. Very consistent performer. And quite frankly, her average race is usually good enough to win here. And then Heartlight, the 6-horse, 3 consecutive speed figure increases. According to Barry Meadows, that's a handicapping angle that wins at least 15%. In the money, 9 out of 11 at the distance, and by far the best season. So should love the distance, should love the pace, has that high ability to win with that 3 speed figure increases in a row. So I put it and the 1, the 3, and the 5 in my pick 4. I'm going to go 5-6, 5-6. I hope I got that right. And then all. No, it's supposed to be race 3. I always mess these up a little bit, Terry. This is supposed to be 3-6. I don't know why I always mess one up. And then when I go back and look after the show, I'm like, oh, man, I messed one up. There you go. 1-3-5-6 with 5-6 with 3-6. And then I'm going to go all on the back end, which is only 5 horses. So it's not that big a deal. Right?
Yep.
Why don't we have the 4 win in which race? This race right here?
Second.
Bunny bonus. All right, Terry. What was that? Was my next pick? I feel like bunny bonus in race number 2. What was your next pick?
Bunny bonus.
Yeah, mine was the next one too. Let's take a look at race number 2. Bunny bonus. Let's go down here and look at bunny bonus. Bunny bonus. Well, last time out ran at this level. I don't know if 3 straight regressions means as much, but you had a couple of reasons why when I looked at it, I was considering it. 10-pound weight break does win at this level 4 times at 1 in 12 races, only 2 in 10 elsewhere. So a fan of the distance. But what I see here is just regression here. And then not only regression there, but regression here. And then if you look at the times, both at 1 mile and 70 yards, then I saw regression in time as well. So I was then looking to see if the horse had a workout down in here, a bounce back workout that shows me that maybe the horse is about to come back to life. I don't see anything in that. And then I looked at the trainer's numbers over here and just saw that there's a low level trainer with a cold horse in a cold barn. So for me, I don't know about you, Terry, but I wanted to see a horse that showed some signs of life before I popped it back into my picks. How about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. And then, of course, the jockey also has a low percentage of wins at this meet. So that was another reason I didn't put it in my top 4.
Yeah, that's why I put it in there too. So I mean, I considered it in my picks there as high as 3rd.
Yeah.
And then as I went through it, that's why I want to see a bounce back race. And if like the 6 in the first race, it rebounds, then I'm going to look stupid. All right. Well, hopefully we won't look as that dumb in race number 3, Mr. Terry.
Okay.
What are we talking about here?
Well, in this race here, we're going to go to 1 mile and an 1/8. It's a maiden claiming race, $10,000 claiming price, purse $19,000 for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
Yep. And again, it is a potpourri of distances today, Terry. 1 mile and an 1/8. They've run 10 races so far. You have stalkers that usually win, but 4 of the 10, so a lot of them won wire to wire. None of them ran from the post, so Gwen Stacy's could maybe break that curse. 2 and 3 also get discounted. 4 through 7 is the best place to be by far. 8 and out, nobody's won from out there either. So it looks like if you like a horse 4, 5, or 6, or 7, you could just start there, Terry. All right, well, who's got the early speed in this one?
Well, as you can see, they all show speed again, but the 3 and the 6 show the most speed, and they're pretty similar to one another. So they could go head to head to that quarter pole. That 6 also has an overlay from 4 to 5 to 8 to 1. The 6 and the 3 have par plus numbers, especially the 6. And let's see, the 5, 2, and 3 show the Q zone numbers, I mean, C zone, and then the Q30, that 3 and that 5 have fairly decent
along with the 6. Mm-hmm. Our race shape for the third race. Well, the 3 horse wants to be a pressure horse. The 1, 2, 5, and 6 so far, they've been closers. The 1 and 7 have not been within 5 lengths of the leaders. Looking at early speed, well, you see the 3, the 6, the 5, they should be out in the front as they come down the stretch. It looks like the 5 and the 1, along with the 6, should be involved. Our top total pace horse in here, Terry, is the 5 horse. It is 5 points clear of End the Rainbow. So look out for that guy. He should be about a length better than everybody else, if that's how this plays out. How do you see it taking shape?
Yeah, I see that the 5 Napolitan should win this race. She finished second in her last start as a favorite, but she has a trainer who wins 20% of the races when bringing back a beaten favorite again to race. And her best start speed is fast among today's starters. And I like the 3 as my second choice. She has a high percentage winning jockey, and her best start speed is fast among today's starters, actually tied with another horse. End of the Rainbow, the 6, my third choice, drops in class today. She has the highest last speed rating. And then I like the 2 as my long shot. She has a trainer who wins 19% of the maiden claiming races a horse he trains runs in. No additional bets for me in this race.
Well, we have $100 budget we can spend however we like. I think I spent the whole 100 in this race, which is not common for me. I don't know that it'll play out this way, but I'm going to go with End of the Rainbow as my top pick, the 6. Ran the top last race speed figure. 4 points better than anybody else. It's the only horse in the race that's actually hit par so far on its resume. Number 5, Napolitan. That one is a top total pace by 5 points last out. Better across the board with all of its race internals. La de Pouleche. In the money, 5 of 10 so far. Last time out, that horse was second out. Just needs to beat 1 with that top Q30 score. And then Gwen Tracy, well, really, I feel like you could pick any of their other horses. They're all about the same. I don't think any of them are going to beat the top 3 picks, but they might. This one of the bottom 3 has the most late speed in there. I'm going to do a $10 exact the key box 6 with the 3-5. I'm hoping the 6, the 8-1, maybe get 5-1. That'd be great. $10 double 6 with the 1-3-6. And then I'm going to do $15 to win and place on the 6. And hopefully the 6 horse wins. And I collect more than $100 so I can have yet another positive ROI day with my Benny and the bets. Race 4, Terry, and a 10 race card to open the week, a pretty big one.
Yeah.
To make sure you don't miss the rest of today's races or any of tomorrow's races or any other races we handicap this week, Terry, what's the best way to make sure you're always included?
Well, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that little bell. That bell will be assigned to notify you about our programs coming up. Go down and copy that link at the bottom, share with everybody you know so they can come and check us out. Then go to our social sites such as Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, and follow us at Horse Race, the number 2 day. Give us, and TikTok, and give us a thumbs up and a like. That'll really help us out a lot. And keep these comments coming in the picks because we really enjoy to see them, and they also help us out.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions that you think can make the show better? If you have any selections anywhere or handicapping angles that you find to be very useful to help you find more winners. Heck, if you like tonight's football game, something in the basketball arena, anywhere, if you have something you think you can make a few bucks on, a Bitcoin or one of those type of things, a cryptocurrency, I guess you want to go with, that you feel like is worthy of somebody to do a little bit more research into, let us know in the comments section. Any interactivity does boost our search engine scores. So when people search for horse racing picks, Terry and I might pop up a little bit higher on the screen. A little bit later on in the show, you can head on over when the show's over, to horseracingtoday.net. We'll recap the show, all of our picks, commentaries, a replay of the show. And then when the show is over, We'll also timestamp every race in the description at YouTube, so you can come back and watch every race at your convenience. Kindly hit on that HRT gear button while you're at horse racing today. We got a whole lot of hats to pick from. You might even want to get a sweatshirt because, as I mentioned, in the northern part of the country, 30s this week, Terry. Ugh. Cold as your 49ers.
Yeah. Well, it's been cold here, too.
I'm just kidding anyway. All right. What are we going to do next? Race number 4.
Right.
You got started on that. Let's get moving.
We're going to shorten up to 6 furlongs. Maiden claiming $16,000 claiming price. The purse $22,000 for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
So 6 furlong affairs. They do favor tactical speed. Still plenty win wire to wire. 36% of them. There is an inside out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They do better. 8 and out. They run under par. So if you have a shot in race number 4, preferably some inside speed, it does look like one on the inside is really fast.
Yeah, that too shows a lot of speed compared to the rest of them. Although they all but the one have some kind of speed. The one also has an overlay from 4.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 3 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 6 has an overlay from 5 to 2 to 3 to 1. 3, 1, and 6 show the only par plus numbers. All but the 1 show C zones, but the 2's got a really nice C zone. And also the 2 and the 4 have really nice Q30s.
Maybe we should have the 2 at the top of our picks. ET's Evasive Mood, really good shot to be on the lead. By far the best C zone, and that 30 plus, the number 1 Q score. Let's see if it's going to have that sort of an advantage in the race. Well, it's also your lone E. That alone is enough to make that horse go higher. Everybody else kind of middle back. The 1's going to start for the first time. The 4, that one's not been within 5 lengths. The 3 and the 6, they want to close. So if that 2 horse can pop out to a lead, right here, it looks like the 4 horse is going to give him all he can handle, though, early on. And everybody, again, within 5 points of each other. So it's really, again, going to depend on how quickly you can get out of the gates. The 1 horse, of course, starting for the first time. Looking at your late speed, you got the 6 horse fully committed. About 6 points or a little bit better than a length than everybody else. It's also our top total pace horse. 7 points clear of the next group of your experienced horses. Looks like you might want to just single up the 6 here, Terry.
Yeah, that's right. I like the 6, fully committed. Finished second versus similar in his last race. He has a trainer wins 17% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Then I like the 3, 4 days early. He drops in class today, and his best dirt speed is faster than the average winning speed. ET's Evasive Moon, the 2, third choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 18% of the maiden claiming races he has a horse competing in. Then I like number 1, Bunchy's Packing. He is a first-time starter whose dam has 3 winners from 4 starters. The rail post winning 19% clip, and he has a trainer wins 20% of the races with first-time starters. Second, Miami Vice, Don Johnson, pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 6 with the 3, 4, with the 1, 3, 4, 5, finishing up with the 1, 2, 4, 6, $48 ticket.
I think your math might be. Is your math right there, Terry? I don't think your math is right there, Terry. I think you got to. You can't. I think you got to go 2, 3, 4, 4.
Yeah, I think so. I think you caught me.
Yeah, I caught you.
I was trying to slip one by you. So
yeah. Well, I'm always trying to do the same thing, and then I realize I have to put 3 somewhere else. I got the 6 horse fully committed as my top selection. Top last race speed figure. That's good. 4 points better than everybody else. Again, Andrew Beyer says anytime there's a 3-point advantage, really pay attention to that horse. Also, that top total pace, 7 points clear. Rich says pay total attention to those horses that have 5 or more in that top total pace. So 2 ways to look at that guy, pace and speed. Number 3, 4 days early, lone horse with a par race on the card. Third up on the class drop. So probably the most dangerous one to the 6. The 1 horse, Butchie's Packing. Really, first timer that doesn't have a whole lot to beat in this race. ET's Evasive Moon. Maybe too much early speed for these if we can get out on reasonable fractions. The 4 horse, because I picked all in my pick 4. It's 5 horse field. Stephen Fielder says whenever there's a 5 horse field, take the longest shot on the board. And I think that will be the case for the 4 horse. Again, all 3, 4, 3, 5, 6 with the 3, 4, and 6. That's my pick 4. Terry took off one on the back end of his to get into line. All right. Do we have time for race number 5, Terry? Before race
I think
number
so,
6
yeah.
started? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably band 6 would probably be able to get through. All right, let's talk about race number 5.
All right. So in race 5, we have going back out to 1 mile and 70 yards, a maiden race, $50,000 purse, and it's for maidens, fillies, 2-year-olds.
$1.70 in the dirt. Well, again, no surprise. Early speed at Parx. Best chance to win. In fact, about 40% of the time, the horse that gets the lead at the quarter-mile marker also crosses the finish line first, collects the checkered flag, and smiles broadly for the photo. Most of the positions are fair from a post position standpoint. Again, small discount for 4, 5, 6, and 7. Terry, speed is key to winning. Race number 5, collecting that first W. And this one looks like when the gates get open, it will be a drag race.
It is, and it's all of them have speed, but that one and that 6. But it's a who knows race because you can see there the 4, 3, 2 have speed. 4 being the first, and then the 7 has an overlay from 6 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 4, 3, and 7 show the only par plus numbers, and 4, 3, 2, and 5 show C zones, and especially the 4, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, that 4 horse is a green go horse. It is tied for the top 230. Best C zone, best chance to get to the lead by far, par plus leader there, and stimulation favorite too. According to this, our sim says just single up the 4, move on to the next race. Do we see the same stuff here? Well, 1, 2, 5, and 6, not within 5 lengths of the leader. 7 horse wanted to close. The 3 and 4 want to be out front. I think that's where you're going to find them. Yes, the 4 has a slight advantage over the 3, but not a whole lot. Those 2 are at least a length quicker than everybody else, so they should get out to the front. They got to be careful not to burn one another. The late speed belongs to Fur Elise, and then Carousel Queen, Vague, Maximus, Angelicus, right in that mix too. And there you get a pretty big drop off. Top total pace horses, again, the top 4, usually you find your winner in there. So that would be the 4, 7, 3, and 6. Terry, simulation says the 4 is the one to beat. We both think that's correct.
I do, yeah. The 4 Maximus Angelicus, she finished 3rd in her last race. She has the highest high percentage winning trainer, wins 28% of the races in a horse's first route race, and her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning jockey as well. I like the 3 as my second choice. She finished 2nd in her last race at Parx Racing. Has the highest last speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Carousel Queen, the 7's my 3rd choice. She has a trainer wins 28% of the races in a horse's first race at a route, and a good workout, 4 furlongs on November 6th. Mary Loves Louie, the 2 is my long shot. She has a high percentage winning jockey and has several good workouts in a row. That's mine. No additional bets here for me either.
Well, we both start 4, 3, 7. So Maximus Angelicus should be on the front. Major C-zone edge, made a special weight dropper. And Paco Lopez going to make sure that nobody can pass him late as he bumps everybody out of the way. And if they're in his way coming around the turn, he'll bump them out of the way then too. Olivia Mavis did run the top last race. Speed figure did so considerably wide margin, 10 points better than the next closest one. Look out for that. And the horse was faster in its last race by about a second. Carousel Queen, best published workout since her last race. So ready to perhaps turn that light on. And then Fur Elise was a tough call over the 5 for me, but should be better in the second race after a layoff and returning to dirt. No additional picks for me either. I think we have enough time. Yeah, we got 2 minutes, Terry. Let's just try to race through race 6.
All right. So race 6, let's see here. We've got mile and 16th. It's a maiden race, $40,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania bred 2-year-olds.
So a mile and a 16th, early speed does great. 38% of the time it does so good that if you get to the lead, you'll never see another horse in front of you. The more inside you are, the better off you are, Terry. So inside speed in race number 6, and, well, it looks like 2 of them.
Yeah, that 3, though, shows the most speed. I think that 3 gets a good break. It should get to that quarter pulse first, followed up by the 1. Then the 1 has an overlay from 3.5 to 1 to 4.5 to 1. The 2 has an overlay from 6 to 1 to 8 to 1. 1, 5, and 2 show par plus numbers, and the 1 shows the only C zone And it also has a nice Q30 followed up by the 3.
Yes, Dancing on Air. Look out for that one. All right, so the race shape for race 6 as we power through this. The 1 is a lone E. Look out if it can get the lead, folks. 3 is a pressure horse. 4, 5, and 6, well, they've not been anywhere near the winner so far anyway. And 2 is going to start for the first time. If you're looking for that early speed, well, Awesome Warrior. That one is the fastest of the bunch. Maybe Dancing on Air right there, but that 3 horse has considerably more early pace. At the end of the race, Regal Plans, the 6, will be closing along with Reelin' and Dealin'. And then Dancing on Air. Oh, that early speed right could sit in that shotgun position and close it out at the end. Does look like Dancing on Air is your top total pace horse, really only throughout the 4 because everybody else is pretty tight in there. Terry, who's your winner?
I like Reeling and Dealing. The 5 drops in class today. His best start speed is fast among today's starter. Has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 60% of the races and a horse's second race at a route. And he has a high percentage winning jockey. The 3, Awesome Warrior, is my second choice. Trainer wins 20% of the maiden special weight races. He has a horse running in, and he has a high percentage winning jockey. Added blinkers today. Oki Den Den is the 4, my third choice. Drops in class today. He has a high percentage winning jockey. Dancing on Air, the 1, can improve while returning to dirt. The longer distance offer hope for employment and improvement, and the Rail Postal's winning at a 21% clip. No additional bets for me here.
So race 2 is underway at the moment. And as we look at race number 2, we see that the 1 horse, More Ransom, has darted out to the lead. We thought it would be in the mix in there. We thought the 2 horse would probably have the best chance to get the lead, but he's sitting in third. The 6 horse, Heartlight, is right now racing in second. These are all pretty tight. The only horse that's kind of out of the mix altogether looks to me is like Caddy the Bell, all the way in the back of the pack. They ran the opening quarter in 23.9 seconds. So a little bit on the quick side, perhaps. The 1 horse continues to lead. The 5 horse right now, that one is in second place. That one is Creative Copy. In fact, the gray has moved its head in front of the 1 horse. That is your favorite right now at 6-5. The 6 horse, that one's going to try to go 3 wide as they ran the opening half in just a little under 49 seconds. So they really did slow it down a little bit. It does look like the 6 horse is moving pretty aggressively right now. The 1 horse is a little bit, jockey's asking for a little bit on that one, as is the 5. Doesn't really look like anybody this time around from the back of the pack is going to give it a go like we saw in the opener. The 2 horse is trying to make some ground up on the rail. That one's probably going to find its way into third as the 1 horse pulls away from the 5 horse. It looks to me like this race is going to be, is anybody else coming? I think the 1 horse is going to win. The question is by margin. Nobody's really gaining any ground as they're all kind of going backwards. It does look like the 3 horse is going to give it a go for second place, but it's all about the 1 horse here, Terry. That one's going to be your winner. More Ransom. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just bet them like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're both alive in our pick 4s. I'm hoping I can get through the next 2. And then I have a for sure pick 4 on the last leg with the all. So fingers crossed.
All right.
Get the right set of odds. All right. For me, what did we do last? Race 6. Just quick out my picks for race number 6. I got Reelin' and Dealin'. If he can return to his debut, it's a wrap. Just needs to bounce back in this race. Awesome Warrior, consistent performer, been getting quicker at the starter races. Regal Plains, the 6 horse, did run the top of the last race speed figure. That was 7 points better than everybody else. And if you look at its late speed, it really smokes the rest of these. And then finally, Fenton Forever. None have hit par for this level. So if none of your maiden races horses that have experience have not hit par, well, then by golly, you got to pick the first-time starter in your mix as well. 7th race is the beginning of the late pick 4, Terry, in this 10-race Monday. 7 furlongs. I guess just pick the 7 horses. The seventh horse to make it 777.
Yeah, that's true. It's a 7 furlong, and it's a maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price. Purse, $26,000 for maidens, fillies, and mares, 3-year-olds and upward.
7 furlongs, like we saw in the opener, typically benefits horses with tactical speed. 24% of the time they win on the lead. We didn't see that in the opener. We saw Closer come in. Inside post positions tend to be better than outside post positions, particularly 1, 2, and 3. Show me some tactical speed on the inside for lucky race number 7.
Well, I don't think you're going to see any. Some a little bit on the inside. The 3 has some speed, but the 6 actually has more speed. It could go head to head between the 3 and the 6, and then the 1 has an overlay of 4-1 to 9-2, and the 2 has an overlay of 5-2 to 8-1. 2, 6, 4, and 1 have the par plus numbers, and all but the 5 shows C zone, and the 3 has a nice Q30.
Our race shape for race number 7, 3 and 6 to the lead. 4 wants to be a pressure horse. So we got to be careful of those Sesame Street horses, the ones that are all by myself. 1, 2, 5, and 7 want to close. At the start of the race, that 3-horse Angel of Harlem is the fastest of the bunch. Got a couple of others in here to its outside. So if the 3 is ready to fire out of the gates, look out. Could get to the front, although based upon that opening race, maybe that's not what you want. Jess's Moment, that has a 10-point late speed advantage over the next closest horse. That's a pretty big margin there. So that one's remotely close. Coming out of the turn, heading for home. Might be really hard to hold off the rail. Angel of Harlem does score the top total pace horse. Again, you got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, just like we saw in the second race there. They're all at least 5 points better than the next group of horses. So the winner ought to come from that over 70% of the time. It does come from that top 4, Terry. You have the 6, nowhere to see the 3 in yours. So why is Tempting Lady going to get the W here?
Well, she finished 3rd in her last start, and her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning jockey. 4, Lady Sakara is my second choice. She finished 3rd in her last race at Laurel Park, drops in class, and she has a trainer who wins 26% of the maiden claiming race that he has a horse run in that he trains. And then Jess's Moment, the 1 is my 3rd choice. She finished in the money in the last 4 races, finished in 3rd versus similar to her last race, and the Rail Post winning 19% clip. Spanish Girl is my long shot, the 2. She finished 2nd in her last race and has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play the final pick 4, Miami Vice Don Johnson, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 with the 2, 3, 5, 6 with the 3. And finish up with the 1, 8, 9, 10, 11, $50 cost.
Yeah, the 12 in there too. So let's not forget that one. I don't really have best bets variants, but I try to find, I think, the most strategic bet, I would guess. I don't know what you want to call it, but mine's coming up in race 3. I put in the 6. Here you see all of my bets. That's my entire $100 budget. So I'm going to live or die on the end of the rainbow. And usually at the end of the rainbow, Terry, that's where you find a bucket of gold. I hope that's the case today. I'm going to start off with the 3-horse Angel of Harlem. What's that? The Rolling Stones song, right? This one's been off for more than a year. Does have a pair of four furlong. Man, I'm tongue-tied on this Monday. A pair of 4 furlong workouts at the end of September and early October. They were both 46 seconds as it prepares for its first race in over a year. I mean, 46-second workouts, Terry, that's really fast. So maybe that horse is going to be really fast today. Lady Sriracha, the 4-horse, most consistent performer in the race. And it's not even pretty much close. Tempting Lady, that one did run the top last race speed figure. 5 points better than anybody else. And only one of 2 horses in the field that have a par race on its recent resume. And I'm finding as I go through my notes, having a par race, at least, and I should probably really mark it down, but I'm finding at least 7 out of 10 winners have that par race on their resume. Sweet Distraction, the 7-horse, is making the 3rd start after a layoff. And today, that one's running at the lowest level of her career. Another mark that I see showing up over and over again when I review my race notes. My pick 4 to end the day, 3, 4, 6, over the 3, 4, 6. Over the 3, 5, Terry, I do like that 3-horse too, but I'm hoping, no offense to you, it gets beat by somebody because I think it'll probably go off about 3 to 5. And then 1, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Race 8, my friend, is next up for you and I. Again, just they're really, I think they pulled like the distances out of a hat today, Terry, because they're all over the place.
They sure are. This one's a 1 mile. distance, and it's an optional claiming race, $16,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed, purse $25,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or less, which have never won 2 races, or a claiming price of $16,000, or which have never won 2 races.
Yeah, and they're going to win. They're going to run one complete lap around that track. Boom. So based upon that 1 lap race, if you want to win it, you better have some early speed. 37% win on the front. Post positions 1, 2, and 3 are fair. 4 through 7 get a discount. If you wear the 8 or higher, you get a pretty nice bonus. So if you're a Buffalo girl on the outside in race number 8, you got a chance. But only 5 horses here, Terry, and it looks like all of them have some chance to get going early.
They sure do, and it's an anyone's guess because at least 4 of them or 3 of them are pretty close to one another. The 5 and the 4 show the only overlays. The 4's overlay is, I'm sorry, I've got this mixed up here. Let's see. The only overlay I see in there is the 5, and it's basically 2-1 to 3-1. And then the 5 is the only par plus number. All of them show C zones.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty open race. I mean, just a 5-horse field, none of which really are over 10-1 odds according to the morning line maker. You look on our simulation odds, they match up pretty nicely. So I don't really see a statistical advantage based upon our simulations. Well, maybe the 2-horse has an advantage just running style wise because the other 4 want to be middle forward. So they really press each other. Maybe the 2's got a shot. Let's see if it has a shot early on. It does look like She Can Scat and Vanellope. They're the quickest, but the 3 horse is going to be in that mix too. At the end of the race, Lost Love has the most late speed, also going to be close to the back of the pack. Big drop off to She Can Scat, the 4 horse. 2 horses in here look like they're going to get the best total pace. That is the 5 and the 3, although the 6 is in there too. Maybe toss out the 2 and 4, and from these 3, pick the one you think has the best shot to win. If you want the speed with the 5, if you want the closer, the 6. Which route did you take?
I took the closer, the 6, Lost Love. Ran second versus Similar in her last race, winning the previous race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Then I like the 5 as my second choice, finished third versus Similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning jockey, and blinkers are added today. Lady Robo, the 3 is my third choice. She won her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. The 2 is my long shot, Banana Split. She won her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. No additional bets here for me as my pick of the day is coming up in the next race.
I'll start with the 3-horse Lady Robo. Last time out, the horse won by a lot and did so with faster fractions, and that was despite running a longer race. So you go faster, even though you went longer. That's like Wrigley double spearmint gum. It's doubly quick. 6, Lost Love is my second choice. Just missed last out. And another one that ran faster fractions last time out also had better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers. She Can Scat, the 4 horse, that's your morning line favorite. The lone horse with the par race on the resume. And Vanellope, that is actually our simulation favorite right in there. Terry making the classic third start after a layoff. No bets for me because I want to get to Terry's best bet in race number 9. What's happening here?
All right. In this race here, we're going to go to 6.5 furlongs, optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse $26,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which started for $16,000 or less, and which have never won 3 races, or claiming price of $25,000 or never won 3 races.
And the 6.5 furlong distance is one that favors horses that have tactical speed, but still plenty, a little bit better than 1 out of 3. Winning on the front, going gate to wire. There is an inside to outside post position bias. So if you were 1, 2, or 3, you have an edge. 4 through 7, they're discounted, but the closer to the rail, the better off you are. So if you have inside speed in the first leg of the late daily double, you got a crack, Terry. And well, it looks like, again, probably everybody but the 6 really would have a chance to be forward at the start.
Yeah, they all show speed. And it's another anyone guess because, they're pretty close to one another, especially that 2 and that 4. The 1 has an overlay from 5-1 to 12-1. And all but the 2 and 5 have par plus numbers. All of them show C zones.
Saludos to you as well. Ramon joining us from Venezuela. And even looking at our early pace here, Ramon, and our late pace, the way we shape up our races, 3 horses want to be up front, 3 races in the back. Although the 4 horse here again is one of those horses that is a lone, like Sesame Street type. So the 4, just on this alone, should gather some interest from horse players. Early pace, boy, this looks like everybody but the 6 with a chance to get going. These 2 have a little bit of an edge early on, but really not that big of an edge that if they stumble, they pause coming out of the gates, they get forced wide, could really be to their detriment. The end of the race, well, once again, we find a very tight window in here, Terry. A bunch of horses within a very tight zone, only 7 points separating almost worst from first. And then your top total pace horses, 4 of them within 5 points. I know you got your best bet in here, Terry, but it's going to be a tough sled, I think, to get to the top there.
Yeah, it's true, but I do like 3 as my best bet of the day, Dazzy. She ran second versus similar in her last race. Her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 30% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse, and a high percentage winning jockey, lots of boxes marked off. Number 4 is my second choice, finished in the money in 5 out of the last 7 career starts. She won 2 of those races. She has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Extraordinary. The 5 is my third choice, has won 2 races out of the last 4 starts, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey as well. Number 6, Melody's Kiss, is my long shot. She has won 2 races in a row and now goes for a hat trick, and she can handle the distance. I'm going to play $24 to win on number 3, a $2 exacta box, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to play a $4 exacta, 3 on top of the 4, 5, and 6. At a $5 daily double, the 3 and the 4 with the 1, 9, 10, 12.
I think the 3 horse Dazzy is the one to beat in here, Cherry. So we're in agreement there. Top last race speed figure, 11 points better than the next. So everybody else has to come up a lot, or the 3 has to falter a lot. I don't think that'll really happen with the dynamic duo of Paco and Jamie Ness. It's also our simulation favorite to boot. Extraordinary. This one is a Kentucky track dropper, making its 3rd start after a layoff. Could be dangerous. Melody's Kiss, the 6 horse. This one's run at Parx 2 times. Terry, you know how many times it's won?
2.
2 for 2 at Parx. It's run at another track 5 times. Do you know how many times it hit the board?
None. 0.
None. You know what that makes it? A horse for the course for sure.
That's
and
right.
Then finally, the 4 horse reassesses. Might be a tough call over the 1 horse. I don't know what I was writing there. This one does have some. Oh, I know what I was going to write there. Sometimes, this autocorrect really kills me, right? Because if I misspell a word, it wants to change it to something else. But its best races have been on turf, but does have some fast workouts on the Parx dirt. This is the first Parx race. Let's see if those workouts can translate to the dirt track. Otherwise, I think you'll see this one running on turf. No additional bets for me because I wanted to leave the floor to Terry's best bet. Last race of the day. Plus, I spent all my money in the race that's coming up. Race number 10, Terry, a 6 furlonger, the most common at Parx.
That's right. It's $12,500 claiming race, purse $23,000 for 3-year-olds and upwards, which has never won 2 races.
So Terry's best bet was right there. He likes El Numero. What was that? You like the 3, right?
3. Yeah, 3.
El Numero 3 in race 9. Mi quiero número 6 in race 3. How's that for my Spanish? Probably pretty bad. All right. Yeah, right now he's throwing a knife at me. Race number 9, you like the $4, $400 to win on the 2, the pick of the day. Wow. Chris, so in race number 9, he's all on Jody's Rush. $400. That's if that one comes home, he's not going to have to work for the rest of the week. Chris might be retired for all we know. All right, so the last race of the day, Terry, you mentioned is 6 furlongs. At 6 furlongs, the type of horse that does win has tactical speed. 36% of the time, they win gate to wire. There's inside-out bias. 8 and out gets a discount. Fair from 1 through 7, although the inside 3 have a little bit better of it than the rest. Take it away on the late race where the early speed can be found.
Well, as you can see, most of them have some kind of speed, but the 9 and the 10 have the most speed. So it could be if they could break head and head for them to the quarter pole. 3 has an overlay of 4-1 to 6-1. The 4 has an overlay from about 8 to 5 to 5-1. The 4 and 10, 3 and 7 have the best par plus numbers, and all of them show C zones.
Yeah, this race, I wanted to put all down on my pick 4 here too, but it's kind of hard to do it only with 12 horses. So maybe we find some edge in here. Look, all this early speed, Terry. Woo! You better be the speed of the speed, or you're probably going to be left behind. The 4 horse, woo, there's one of those horses. That's the Sesame Street horse, unlike the others. The 6 and the 8 are really hoping this group just really rips after it, particularly if they have some late speed, because they'll be able to run by him at the end. And so far, the 5 horses, I'm really not all that interested in being close at the end. But he is being interested in being close at the beginning, along with One America. A lot of early pace up in here, Terry. A lot of it to the outside, where the inside positions do a little bit better. They could get forced wide. 6 horse, Taparico, whatever. Does have a 1 length late pace advantage, but it's going to be way off the lead at the beginning. In fact, that one might be so far off the race, Jessica Paquette will not see it in the call. At the end of the race, it does look like our top 4 horses are the 4, the 10, the 9, and the 12. But again, look at all of these horses within 9 points of each other, Terry. This looks like an all race. Why did you settle on the 1 horse?
Well, I like the 1 horse because he won his last race. He switches to high percentage winning jockey. My favorite jockey here, Paco Lopez, and the rail post is winning at a 19% clip. Then I like the 12 separate ways. His early speed running style will help his chances, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. One America. The 10 is my 3rd choice, finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is as fast as among today's starters. Optimistic Nate, the 9 is my long shot. He won his last race, earning the highest last speed rating. No additional bets for me as I'm out of money.
Well, where you leave off, Terry, is where I begin. Optimistic Nate. That one did run the top last race speed figure, 3 points better than everybody else. Should be forward today and also has a maintenance work. So keeping that Stephen Covey, Shaw sharp. One America, the 10 horse, that's next for me. Track Dropper has an okay record in the first start after some time in the sidelines. Star-Lord, my favorite of the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. That one has Paco Lopez riding, coming off a win that had all of the race internals improved. And then finally, checking boxes. Terry, how does this one not make it into your picks? That's one of your favorite handicapping angles.
But it is. Yeah, certainly is.
Has hit par and did run better fractions last time out. No additional bets for me. Here are our full picks for the day at Parx in race number 1. Who won? I can't believe I can't remember things from race number 1. The winner was the 6 horse, one that neither one of us had. In race number 2, the 1 horse came home as your winner, and then it went 2-3. So neither of us had the 2. So it looks like this could be a wide open day. In the first leg, a closer won. In the second leg, a speed horse won. So who knows what the track bias is going to look like. Race number 3, my 6 horse, the one that I've rolled all my bets into right here. I thought I might find something with that one at 8-1 morning line, but right now that horse is 6-5. So catching a lot of action, still an overlay according to our simulation figures. Terry's best bet is in race number 8. Is that right, Terry?
9. Race 9.
9. All right, there you go. There's Terry's best bet, the 3 and all of his associated plays. To make sure you don't miss tomorrow's Parx show, Terry, there's one thing that you can do that guarantees that you'll be with Terry and I tomorrow. And what is that one thing they can do?
Well, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the little bell. That bell will then notify you whenever we've got programs coming up. Copy the link at the bottom. Share that with all your friends and relatives, neighbors, so they can come and check us out. Then go to our social sites such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us a thumbs up and a X, also at X. And then go ahead and keep these comments coming, and picks such as Christopher D'Souza, who picked in the 10th race. He likes that number 4 win in place. Then he likes the 4163 in exacta and trifecta key box.
And he's
So there you go.
Big in race number 9 for Hundy to win on the 2. That's just the biggest number I think we ever seen Chris throw up on there. So
yeah,
and Chris is usually on his stuff.
Race.
Not me, because we don't have the. Well, I have the 4 in there. You have it second. So, or no, is that the 2 horse? The 2 horse. Well, we don't have the 2 horse, so I'm not looking forward to watching that 2 beat our pick 4s, Terry, at all. And he's also got your 3 in that race too. So I mean, all right, folks. Before we part ways, remember at Zia Park, some free picks coming up in just a little bit over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description below. Please use that so they know where you come from. And then when the show is over, in just a couple of seconds from now, we will post all of our picks along with a race replay at horseracingtoday.net. You'll find it right there, smack dab in the middle of the opening page. Click on that, and you'll see all of that information come to your right up on your computer screen or on your phone, wherever it is that you watch us. And then, of course, in the description on YouTube in just a little bit, we'll also timestamp every single race so you can come back and see why Terry likes the 3 horse in race number 9. And while you're at Horse Racing Today, please click that HRT gear. Come on over here, get your hat, get your sweatshirt. Great way to support the show and look your absolute best in public. All right, Terry, any final thoughts from you before we part ways and start preparing for day 2 at Parx?
Yeah, just be careful and safe for the rest of the week. Go ahead and bundle up, because it's cold both where Rich lives and where I live. It's getting down in the 30s here, at least during the night. And then just have a great rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed. No matter what you're doing on this Money Monday, sitting around trying to collect some winners at Parx, Zia Park, wherever it is that you're making some wagers, or you're trying to really chase down your life dreams, we certainly hope that it has God's grace, God's favor, and that every single thing you do today is blessed and ends up in
the winner's circle.
Yes, we'll see you tomorrow for Terrific Terry Tuesday.